so long, I thought you graduated. Well, what do you say? You ready to see where this next door takes us?
What's up, Infinity fans? Lucky here. I've got something really fun. This is going to be a series of 3 videos that I'm going to do. It's going to feature some creativi-toy tutorials and stuff. And we're going to be making this game. And this is a little game that I like to call Dropkick the Princess. It's a blast. Me and the kids play it. We just laugh our tails off. It's so hilarious. But the first tutorial, and we're going to start out, and to play Dropkick the Princess, you have to have a field goal post. Okay? And so we're going to start off doing the field goal post. We'll show you how to connect it up to another creativi-toy. In this case, we're going to do a party cannon, so that we know when our field goal gets kicked, basically, we'll know that it goes through. So I'm gonna just go ahead, for the time being, I'm gonna go ahead and plant the party cannon down. I'm gonna go in here, and I'm gonna link these two up. I'm gonna say if the field goal is completed, then go to the party cannon and shoot off fireworks. Okay? And then, so this is kind of like the premise for the game. Later on in this one, we're gonna do the replayer toy, which is important for setup. And then in the next one, I'll do counters and scoreboards. And then in the last one, I'm gonna talk about doing chains. But first I need something to kick. So we are gonna get ourselves a princess for Dropkick the Princess and Cinderella. She'll do just fine. And so basically, you just pick up the princess and drop kick her through the field. And it's real simple. You and your buddies can play. When I do scoreboard, I'll show you how to set it up so that if you had multiplayer, you could keep score if you do it. And then I'll also show you basically how to do it with co-op, which I find is the most fun because you guys can just all kind of sit there in the same room and laugh together. So first, we're gonna build out our track. We need a stadium, so let's build a stadium. I laid track down. I like the blue. We need some stadium lights. I'm gonna just kind of slam all this kind of stuff in here. You need walls behind your field goals, basically, so that when you drop kick these princesses, they don't go flying off into space. And we'll do like a nice little kind of Tron background to it, kind of make it funky. We're gonna lay out a bunch of firework party cannons, and I'll show you in the third video how to set up chains and stuff. And it's not really a stadium unless you have stadium seating. So we got this, and presto voila, in like 5 to 10 minutes you can build this. This whole thing, like when you do it yourself, honestly, you can build this game in like 10 to 15 minutes. This is real quick, real fun. It uses some of the more advanced functionality, but if you know what you're doing, it's really easy to do, and it's a lot of fun. So I've got my stadium here, and now what I need is basically a mechanism to start my game, to bring in all my princesses, so I'm just not, basically I can clean up and start fresh in and after each game. So I'm gonna lay down a few triggers here, and then we're gonna talk about using the replayer tool. Now, the replayer is a creativi-toy that basically what it does is it records all the actions you do while you're building stuff in the sandbox. It doesn't actually record you moving around and stuff. It doesn't record the time gaps. It basically records all the blocks or pieces that you lay down. Then you can stop that recording and play that recording back. And what that allows you to do is some really cool stuff. There's some really cool things that can be done with this. So you can imagine basically having a totally empty world, hitting the record on the recorder on the replayer tool, and then you could basically play back the building of a whole castle right before your eyes in game as you're playing it. So this is the replayer tool. It's in creativi-toys. I'm gonna come over here. I'm gonna get my magic wand, and I'm gonna set this trigger so that when I step on it, it starts recording. Okay, so I say stepped on, and then I connect it to it, and then I choose start recording. And then I'm going to go to the next trigger and do stop recording. And then I'll go to the third trigger and we'll choose basically playback option. What the playback option will do is the playback option plays back everything that it recorded. So that's what triggers your stuff. So if you're in game, what you could do is you do your initial build, you record all the things that you want to appear out of thin air, okay, and you stop, and then you can take those pieces, the trigger and the replayer tool, and hide them off in your world, and the only thing that you would need is the trigger to start the playback, and that's the playback. So I'll choose that, and now I'm going to go over and I'm going to start recording. So all you do now, since I've tied it to this one trigger, I'll just walk over here and I'll basically step on the trigger. And you can see that the little green cassette tape comes up, and that lets you know that it's recording. So then I'm going to go to the center, and what I want to play back is for all my characters that I'm going to be drop kicking to appear in the middle of the field. I'm going to go through, we'll do Snow White, we'll do Peter Pan is a princess, I guess, and Tinkerbell, and yeah, the Little Mermaid, and Jasmine, definitely Jasmine, and then Belle, and yeah, I think that's probably good. That's probably good. That's plenty of options to play with. And then I'll come over and I'll step on this trigger, and that stops it, right? So I should be able to hit this trigger and it play it back. But oh, okay. I forgot a key step. You'll need a fourth trigger. What this trigger does is this clears it out. This is your game reset trigger right here. So within your game, you're going to want the trigger that plays back what you've recorded, and you're also going to want a trigger that clears out probably what you recorded to start fresh. So we'll take this, we'll do one last trigger. We're gonna go ahead and set this one right up next to the playing field. Then I'll go through, I'll highlight it, stepped on, I'll connect it to the replayer tool, and I'll select clear. What it will do now is when I step on it, it'll basically remove everything that I had added during playback from the set. Presto. Voila. Done. Now, if I step on playback, this trigger right here, I will see all my characters come into play. Ta-da! And see, we can use this mechanism now to basically go through and start our game fresh, and these triggers will be the foundation for starting each game and stopping each game. And then we'll come back and we'll use these same triggers when we start talking about counters and scoreboards to start the counter and to reset the counter or scoreboard when we go through and get to that tutorial. So this is the foundation. You would all run out, grab your princess, and drop kick her through the field goal post. Absolute blast. Thank you guys for joining me. I hope you enjoyed. Look forward to seeing you on the next tutorial. Peace.